All right, so it looks like we'll have some NBA basketball come late July. Have some normalcy, I guess, with pro sports returning. Should be interesting. Welcome to the 954sports.com YouTube channel. I'm Matt Levine. I hope you're staying safe, staying sound as we hit TGIF. A happy Friday to you as we get ready for the weekend. I'm certainly one that's ready for some hoops, ready for some sports, right? Great determining factor in being the ultimate stress reliever, to me at least. It's just kind of chilling every evening and watching some hoop, watching some baseball this time of year. And you start getting ready for wondering what your football team is going to do as slowly but surely, about a month away from those respective training camps opening in the National Football League. But let's talk about this league right here. The man who marks the emblem, I'll tell you, Jerry West. Good trivia question, right? Get stuck in a trivia contest, you don't know that answer, now you do. You can pull that one out of your back pocket. National Basketball Association looking to get games going and resume play. It's been a long time since we've seen this. In late July, start things off with training camps early in July, and they would go to Disney's Wide World of Sports Complex on the Disney resorts in Orlando, Disney World Resort. Look at the complex. Monster complex facility. Look at all those baseball diamonds. I think it's the Braves and the Houston Astros that split that facility for spring training. If you look top of the picture, top of the screen, 12 o'clock, that's the arena. I'll show you a closer shot of it. It's brand spanking new, they say, in a great facility. And of course, a Disney with plenty of space to provide the respective players and the personnel. And number one, they've got to keep everyone safe with COVID-19. They will practice social distancing. They will have daily test and monitoring of COVID-19. There will be rules in place if a player tests positive and so on and so forth. But they feel that they can keep the players and all the personnel necessary for these games, which will be fanless, I'm assuming, 100%, right? Not 100% sure on that one, actually, but I'm assuming. And they'll be able to do it, and the Olympic-style village will become Disney's resort in the wide world of sports. I've seen it. It is an outstanding facility to be able to jumpstart a season in these modern times and hold it there. So I think they've picked the right venue. Now, you're going to have 16 teams that are automatically in. There'll be 13 overall teams from the East, 9 from the West. 16 teams get in. 8 teams left over will scramble with 6 remaining regular season games to jockey for position to get the final spots. So, the NBA will adopt a tournament of champions. They will cap off the 2019-2020 season, and of course, it'll be very interesting to see how things shake out up in Orlando. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see hoops back. I know it's not the conventional style of NBA basketball that we're used to see played on your home court with fans and having that edge and advantage, and it'll be different. And you're also not used to seeing NBA basketball in the middle of summer unless you get your fix every 4 years like I do, and you get the international tournament champions with the Summer Olympic Games. Now, amongst those teams left out are my New York Knicks. By golly. Am I surprised? Nope. Not those New York Knicks, no. I know I'm living in the past. I'm going to talk more about that in a moment. We'll get Starks with the face mask, Doc Rivers, Great point guard. I like Doc. Used to see him back in my hometown of Stamford, Connecticut, running, shopping in the retail store I worked in as a teenager. You got Oak, Mason, Patrick. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, didn't. Michael Jordan should have beat the Rockets, but anyway, that's the past. Talking about these Knicks of the present. Going to be one of those 8 teams not going to the Tournament of Champions. It is what it is. And you wonder about those 8 teams. Well, they get left out in the dark. The NBA did say that maybe they'd have some kind of league for those 8 teams, mandatory training camp. Maybe they play some exhibitions. Keep warm, because if you think about it, teams that get to participate, they'll continue playing. The teams that don't, I believe next season they're slated to start it in Christmas. Those 8 teams that don't get in, like the Knicks, they'd have an 8-month layoff, while the other teams got to hoop it up for a bit. So they're going to have to figure that all out. A lot of schematics, some of the logistics need to be laid out. But of course, again, my Knicks are not in the playoffs, and that's just the way it is with the Knicks. And as Bruce Hornsby would say, that's just the way it is. Some things will never change. Let me show you what I got with the Knicks. See above me here, below the Knick neon light, there's a Knick wall. Got my Knicks basketball signed by a bunch of the 80s, 90s players. Below you can't really see close, below that Knicks neon, you got Bernard King. And I call this the catch dunk, the flip catch dunk wall, because you got Derek, Tyree, and then you got Starks. Anyway, what does that tell you? I'm a Knicks fan, frustrated one, yet they're still celebrated on my wall. I'll be a Knicks fan for life. And that's the way it goes. As far as the NBA basketball last year, loved it. Thought the finals were great. This guy not only put his team on his shoulders, his city on his shoulders of Toronto. Huge fan of Toronto. Young street, great culture, great restaurants, good vibe. He took the whole country and put it on his shoulders and won the first ever championship for a team in North American professional sports north of the border in Canada. And the Raptors won an epic title. This guy, Kawhi, just won about his business. Great, great basketball player. There's not a thing he can't do on the basketball court. He's a seasoned professional. And now he's a champion. Well, he's a champion. He was a champion with the Spurs, but this was the first time that he really was the main cog and the main guy, the go-to guy, main man, so to speak. And he worked wonders for the Raptors. I love that finals. This, of course, is going to be different, but hey, I'll give it a chance. I'll look forward to the hoops. Let's move on. I was thinking about it today. Want to go check the schedule, kind of torturous. I was wondering, where would my Yankees be at right now? Well, they would have 59 games in the books, coming off a Western Road swing. They would have played their last game in Seattle, had the day off Thursday, resumed today against the Rays at home. 3 games with the Rays, and then they would have teed up the Royals to keep the home stand going. So in those 59 games, where do I think the Yanks would be? Record-wise, I was thinking probably 37 wins, 40 wins. I'm a Yankees fan. Of course, I'm going to be biased. I would expect that they win the first 2/3 of their games. And the AFC East, I would expect a beast. I was expecting a complete beast this year. With the Rays, Yankees, and those Red Sox. I thought it was going to be a 3-team juggernaut. Will we have Major League Baseball? We'll see. They've rejected the latest proposal, the MLBPA, Players Association, the owners can't get it right, can't figure out the dollars. Would have been a 114-game season. They were talking initially about starting it July the 4th. They moved it out to potential start of the 15th. Time is not on your side right now, Major League Baseball. So, we shall see if we do have baseball. Now, they did make an interesting announcement today. They said if Major League Baseball returns, that about half of the games that will be played on the road, they will not have the play-by-play announcers travel with the teams for the road games. Meaning that this dynamic duo, for instance, would be in a studio broadcasting the game. Now, they've done this with Spanish League sports for years. I've seen it done with the summer games and the Olympics. Always an interesting concept. Not a big fan of that, but if we can get the baseball back, it is what it is. Beggars can't be choosers in a sense. Talking to Susan Waldman, should I do it? Nah, okay. I have to. It's like the nails on the chalkboard. Let's just take a listen.
Roger Clemens is in George's box, and Roger Clemens is coming back. Oh my goodness gracious! Of all the dramatic things I've ever seen, Roger Clemens.
Oh boy. How about that? Remember Bob Raisman used to call, or still does, I assume. I don't read him as much. When George Steinbrenner, may the boss rest in peace, he used to call him Georgie's, what he used to call him? Georgie's girl and Georgie's guy, right? Loved both of them. And they have been beloved figures in the Yankee organization. Look at that picture one more time. It's like they're already social distancing, it looks like. Well, maybe not 6 feet apart, but pretty darn close. But Steinbrenner, that's his A-team as far as the play-by-play announcing goes. You know, it's for me, it's love to hate him, hate to love him. I'm comforted by the fact that living outside the New York area, that I get the games on the radio down here. And there are times I'm driving in the evening where I say, oh yeah, the Yanks are on. I pop it on, and they just don't give the score. Now, for instance, I did a 3-hour drive from Tampa back to South Florida. And I remember it was a getaway day game. So I think it was a Wednesday afternoon or a Thursday. I went for business. Came back, totally forgot the Yanks were playing a matinee. I was just flipping around to see if I can get a ball game on, whatever I can get on the AM dial. And the Yanks came in. I said, oh, wow, they're on. So I listened, and I listened, and I listened. And they didn't give the score. I know they didn't give any details who's up, what the score is, how many hits. Took forever to get the score. 7 minutes I timed it to get the score. Now, the old rule of the thumb, and it doesn't apply to these two, I know that. There's a lot of shtick going on. But the old rule of thumb, they would say, if you don't remember, you got to set an egg timer. With the great play-by-play announcers, including Mitch Holthus. I was mentored by him. What a great guy. Kansas City, World Championship, Kansas City Chiefs play-by-play announcer. Went to his sportscasting academy. Oh, what a great time. What a great dude. But he would say, if you don't remember to give the score every 60 seconds, once a minute, you got to set an egg timer until you get in the habit. They've got to put like 14 egg timers in that booth. And the other thing about them, I don't mean to drone on, but I am. The out-of-town scoreboard. Oh, goodness gracious. Got news for you, Susan. No one cares about San Diego and Pittsburgh and what the score is in the 7th. When the Yankees are battling out for a division title with maybe the Rays, the Red Sox, mid-August. Big Friday night in Boston. It's a 1-1 game, and she crams in that out-of-town scoreboard, especially when it's teams that are just out of contention. That's the only bone to really pick with them. I know they're part of Yankee folklore. They're kind of comforting to hear their voices. What are you going to do? That's what you've got. Anyway, sorry, Susan. John has some great moments, right? Her. As soon as I think of her broadcast, that's the first broadcast moment that comes to mind. I will say this about Susan Waldman. She's a pioneer in her own right. There is a great tribute to her at Cooperstown that I really enjoyed checking out. I enjoy everything at Cooperstown. I could spend days reading every single thing and taking my time. But I enjoyed the tribute they have to her, becoming the first professional women's broadcaster to do play-by-play in the big leagues and being a pioneer. So you can't take that away. But man, they can be annoying at times. They really can. Speaking of the Yanks, a weird thought today about how much I'd enjoy going to a Yankee game. It's about now. Just popping into stands. I hate the new stadium, but stands is great. Pop into stands, get a cold one, hang out with the rest of the Yankee faithful across the street, go to the big ballpark in the Bronx. I think it might have to wait for next summer. How about that? Now, speaking of, one more thought here, of doing the broadcast, right, for road games, and doing them in a studio, and piping in the sound and the effects, there's no one that was better than the Durham Bulls play-by-play announcer in Bull Durham. His real play-by-play announcer. What a great movie. What great scenes when he's doing the play-by-play. No one does it better. Nobody. Anyway, just some thoughts. Looks like we got NBA basketball on the horizon. As things shake out, the logistics get ironed out. Be more to talk about in regards to the basketball that we will have in July. Major League Baseball, will they get their act together? I would not bet the house on it. From day one, I really was cautiously optimistic that we would have baseball. I remain that way. Football, I don't even want to talk about. It's just so far on the back burner, which it really isn't, like I said. The training camps, about a month or so away. See what happens with football. Take it day by day. That's the best we can do. But hey, the hoops are back. And for now, look forward to that.